Tonight, the heavyweight class seems like a powder keg, with Tom Aspinall holding the fight. He recently told the world that he will never risk his temporary belt again, and will only trade leather when the unquestionable title is on the line. That forceful refusal was supposed to be the final note, but it has caused a ripple that stretches from Dana White's office to Ilia Topuria's training mats. Fans are outraged, pundits are split, and Aspinall is almost amused by the fuss, discreetly sharing clips that pique interest without giving a specific date. But why does an interim champion's simple no seem so seismic when it shows every fissure in the division? Jon Jones' injury absence, a growing petition to strip the champ, and a procession of challengers vying for relevance. Aspinall's position turns what should have been an interim title into a ransom letter, forcing everyone from Jones to Dana to respond. However, behind that lone statement is a web of stories, some lighthearted, some poisonous, that explain how we got to this point and where the next punch could land.
Jon Jones wants 6 months. He wants 6 months to prepare for Aspinall. He wants 6 months. He can have them. How would I control it? How would anybody control it? Jon has the undisputed belt and Tom has the interim belt. We all understand that these guys are going to fight. Now that
before Aspinall gave his ultimatum, Jon Jones spent an idle evening on Instagram selecting members for a fun, filthy boxing dream squad. The game was simple. Create a 3-man team for 10 fictitious dollars. Jones might have squandered the funds on big names, but he astonished everyone by spending a lot on a human highlight reel. Yoel Romero and dangerous kickboxer Alex Pereira then snatched up Aspinall for a mere $2. The comments section exploded. Was this an olive branch to a prospective rival, or a plan to keep the up-and-comer safe on his side of the bracket? Conor McGregor crashed the thread, saying that he'd just buy it for himself and keep the change, and the banter quickly turned into jokes. Jones' casual gesture to Aspinall did more than just entertain. It placed the Brit as a member of the champion's personal wish list. However, there was an undetectable asterisk. Choosing a partner costs nothing. Signing an agreement costs you your winning streak, aura, and possibly your mind. The board game's appeal belied a quiet tension, which would emerge in considerably harsher words from a familiar analyst.
I think I got to about 14, 15, and we started training at a few different MMA gyms. And I started realizing people are actually not going into work. This is the job. This is what they're doing to get money and not actually going to a building site like where I'm from.
Daniel Cormier can't help but poke holes in Jones' carefully cultivated image, and he did so with surgical accuracy in a recent podcast. DC stated that Jones's reluctance to battle Aspinall comes from optics rather than legacy. With Aspinall's pace, a single missed him step may leave the all-time great staring at arena lights that will be replayed forever. On social media, Cormier has experienced that humiliation directly, noting that watching himself unconscious on television still hurts years later. For a champion like Jones, who fiercely maintains his mystique, being flatlined by a younger, friendlier face might leave a career-long scar. Cormier's comments were not just speculation, they were fuel. Fans edited the soundbite, added slow-motion knockouts, and tested the idea that Jones' legacy instincts now exceed his competitive ones. The implication is that greatness can withstand a broken toe, a torn pec, or even a failed test. But a memeable knockout by Tom Aspinall may be the one thing an unbeaten narrative cannot resist, setting the groundwork for indignation that will quickly reach petition-level momentum.
If I'm being completely honest, I feel like Tom's been such an asshole that I don't want to do business with him. You know, it's just like his fans have been so annoying. And obviously you don't get this far in a career being affected by fans or whatnot, but he's just...
That indignation manifested itself in a digital signature sheet that spread like wildfire, successfully stripping Jon Jones of his heavyweight belt. It started as a fringe protest on forums, but it quickly grew to over 100,000 signatures, driven by every injury report and delay, then a screen joke that Cormier must have signed. And while DC laughed it off, the rest of the fan group was not amused. Every new name on the list represents a small vote of no faith, a public criticism to stop championship cycles as the counter rises. The UFC is under greater pressure to either book Jones permanently or move on. The petition's overwhelming. Bold puts Aspinall's denial into a fresh light if the undisputed title becomes vacant, or if the champion is stripped. Tom's method appears to be more akin to clairvoyance than diva behavior. He isn't defending the temporary strap, but rather positioning himself for the only championship that fans currently consider legitimate. The louder that petition grows, the more clear it becomes that headlines are writing real-world implications. As the heavyweight drama unfolds, the sport itself moves forward, announcing fight announcements faster than a ring bell. Kevin Lee signed a surprising deal with the PFL and jumped right into a lightweight tournament semifinal on short notice, showing that one injury rehab delay is another. Hungry Athletics opening Chris Curtis versus Max Griffin was set for a July return to Nashville, with both desperate to reverse back-to-back losses and avoid roster purgatory. Meanwhile, rookie fighters found that their debut patches would be sewed into walkout gear tokens, which would be used to create one-of-one trading cards. It's clever branding, but it also serves as a reminder that new blood is constantly arriving. Aspinall may think he owns the future, but the robotic belt never stops. Every week, a newbie with knockout aim enters the cage wearing the debut patch. These statements highlight the sport's constant churn, suggesting that any winner, even an interim one, who waits too long risks being surpassed by the next wave. And fan patience wears thin when cue positions change every day.
Go down there, train sometimes. Great people, Fury family in general, just great people. I felt like a small-time guy. We had goddamn Tyson Fury, he was world champion at the time. I was a nobody at the time, no one knew who I was. And but they were very, very nice to me. Tyson's a great guy.
Patience is also a stranger in featherweight territory, where speculations of an Alexander Volkanovski-Rodriguez rematch prompted collective eye rolls. No voice communicated the mood like Robert Whittaker's. He openly admitted that no one casual viewer or seasoned analyst was screaming for that rerun so soon. Whittaker's direct honesty mirrored a wider Inouye. Dominant title holders were given rapid rematches. If overwhelming losses depleted the division's oxygen, he was not attacking Rodriguez. Rather, he was backing meritocracy. Yeah, he said, needs time to develop, not a quick second chance. This bigger argument circles back to Aspinall's proclamation, because divides live or die with forward mobility. Fans praise winners who keep the conveyor belt moving. They revolt against stasis. If the UFC dishes up another lopsided Volkanovski sequel while heavyweight gold remains frozen, fans may escalate their protests across weight classes, putting pressure on Dana White to completely shuffle the deck in order to give Ilia Topuria the stage he wants. Topuria, meantime, was for weeks out from a seismic confrontation with Charles Oliveira, and he let cameras into his camp. Short, harsh mitt rounds, chain wrestling drills, and a smirk that screams he likes every ounce of pressure. Benel Dariush, still recovering from his 2023 loss to Oliveira, warned that many people discount Dub Bronx. Alia's knees clinch tricks and timing disrupt pure boxers, Darius said. Adding Topura's precise hands may fall right into such traps. That cautionary tale adds another aspect to Aspinall's story. Timing risk and razor-thin margins that halt hype trains. If Topuria falters and Ilia reignites his name, the narrative surrounding champions, whether interim or not, shifts instantaneously. Momentum is fickle. One crazy night in the cage reshapes hierarchies, mutes online petitions, and starts new ones. Topuria's camp footage serves as a live reminder that supremacy is fleeting, and Aspinall, while currently the king of leverage, is only one freak injury or unexpected upset away from joining the queue he hates to return.
Me personally, I feel very thankful from the whole energy I feel since the first day I came here to Sydney. Like, the people were very kind with all of us, so amazing.
Queue jumping is easier when your highlight reel is a library of first-round stoppages, and Aspinall looks almost casual when explaining his own during a TikTok Q&A. He shrugged off claims of superhuman power at 6'5" and well over 250 pounds, adding that anyone can put you out cold with 4 Oz gloves. The trick is falling first while the other heavyweight is still loading up. He credits fast twitch muscle fibers and clean punching mechanics, qualities rarely found together in giants. Aspinall's humility about power comes across as confidence. To opponents, a subtle statement that he doesn't need nuclear bombs to destroy you, just precision and time, and the faster he eliminates rivals, the louder the crowd cries for bigger stakes.
John Jones is probably watching this, so send him a message.
Hello, John. I have nothing against you personally, but I just think I'm better than you. I just know that I can beat you in a fight, so I'm coming for it.
After a savage sparring session with Mike Perry, Sean Strickland posted raw, shaky video of him teeing off, Perry lumbering forward, eating everything, refusing to blink. Strickland admitted that Perry's willingness to die just to land one punch unnerved him more than technical brilliance ever could. Fans devoured the clip, celebrating that Gladiator grit is alive outside official scorecards in an era where negotiating positions some the Strickland-Perry dog fight answered nothing directly. But it reminded everyone what authenticity looks like, intensifying scrutiny on anyone whose next appearance feels conditional. Authenticity was precisely what fans expected. When Aspinall teased heavyweight news coming soon, but instead they got a slick commercial unveiling his apparel partnership with Champion. The spot was cinematic slow-motion bag work, stoic narration about sacrifice, dramatic shadows. But the timing was tone-deaf. Comment sections filled with disappointment. Supporters had braced for a signed bout with Jones. Instead, they saw new merch. Some called him a sellout, others laughed that he had pulled a mini Jones by dangling hype with no fight in sight. Aspinall fired back on Instagram. He had never promised a matchup, and sponsorships are part of every fighter's livelihood. Yet the backlash revealed how thin the public's patience really is. Each marketing tease boils the pot hotter, pushing neutral observers toward the Strip Jones petition or toward blaming Aspinall for slow division progress. The optics of cash-in